The race to be Houston's next mayor could be getting more crowded.
The story kicks off tonight's 90-second Nightcap.
Councilman Dwight Boykins filed paperwork to run for mayor of Houston. He hasn't made an official announcement yet. If he does, he'll be going up against current mayor Sylvester Turner, along with former mayor of Kemah, Bill King, who lost to Turner in a 2015 runoff, as well as millionaire attorney Tony Busby.
Some government scientists are warning new 5G technology could put weather forecasts in jeopardy. They're worried that the 5G frequencies are located next to the only frequency where weather satellites can detect water vapor. The head of NOAA recently told Congress it could impact accuracy by 30%. No surprise, a group that represents the wireless industry is fighting back. It says that claim is absurd with no science behind it.
Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Mexican officials at the White House to discuss President Trump's threat to impose new tariffs on Mexican imports.
Senate Republicans strongly opposed to the president's plan indicated they could try and vote to block the tariffs, but now signal a last-minute deal could be reached.
A judge in St. Louis heard arguments Wednesday from both Planned Parenthood and the state of Missouri as he considers whether to allow the state's only abortion provider to continue operating. Planned Parenthood says the state's decision not to renew the license is about politics, not health. Missouri is one of several states to recently pass restrictive abortion laws. All are expected to be challenged in court before they take effect.